Hi everyone, welcome to Travel and Language with Emma and John. I'm Emma.
And I'm John. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of language when traveling. We'll share our experiences and tips on how to communicate effectively in different countries.
Language is such a crucial part of travel, John. It can really enhance your experience. Can you share a memorable language-related story from your travels?
Sure. When I was in France, I decided to brush up on my French. I was a bit nervous, but when I tried speaking to the locals in their language, they were very appreciative and helpful. It made my trip much more enjoyable.
That's great. People often appreciate when you make an effort to speak their language. I had a similar experience in Brazil. I learned a few basic Portuguese phrases, and it made a huge difference in how I connected with people there.
Absolutely. Even just knowing how to say, hello, please, and thank you, can go a long way. Speaking of which, let's share some tips on how to learn a few phrases in the local language before traveling. What do you recommend, Emma?
I recommend using language learning apps like Duolingo or Babbel. They're great for picking up basic phrases and practicing pronunciation. Also, carrying a small phrasebook can be very handy.
Good tips. I'd also suggest watching videos or listening to podcasts in the target language. It helps you get used to the sounds and rhythm of the language. And don't be afraid to practice with native speakers, even if you make mistakes.
Definitely. Practice makes perfect. Another fun way to learn is through music and movies. Listening to songs and watching films in the local language can be both entertaining and educational.
Great point. Language is not just about words, it's also about culture. Understanding local expressions and idioms can give you deeper insights into the culture. Do you have a favorite idiom from your travels, Emma?
Yes, in Japan, there's a saying, Daru kugi wa yutariru, which means, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. It reflects the cultural value of conformity and harmony.
That's fascinating. In Spain, there's an idiom más vale tarde que nunca, which means, better late than never. It reflects a more relaxed approach to time and deadlines.
Idioms really do offer a window into the culture. Let's also talk about body language, which is a big part of communication. In some cultures, gestures can have very different meanings.
Yes, for example, in Greece, showing the palm of your hand to someone can be considered very rude. It's known as the moutsa gesture. Being aware of these differences is important.
Definitely. And in some cultures, like in India, nodding your head side to side actually means yes, which can be confusing for travelers.
Very true. Well, we're almost out of time. Any last tips for our listeners on handling language barriers while traveling?
I'd say, don't be afraid to use technology. Translation apps like Google Translate can be incredibly useful in a pinch. And always be patient and polite. A smile can go a long way in bridging communication gaps.
Great advice. I'd add, be open to learning and enjoy the process. Even if you make mistakes, it's all part of the travel experience. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for joining us on Travel and Language with Emma and John.
We hope you found our discussion helpful and inspiring. Safe travels and happy communicating. Bye.
Bye.